Okay, what's the meaning of Africa? Because he's a white man. From Leo Scipio Africanus, that's his name.
Africa is
The continent? How does God call Africa? How does God call Africa?
Israel.
How?
Israel. How does God call Africa?
Yes. In Psalm 105 verse 23, it says literally how God calls Africa. Because there's a difference between the three sons of Noah. Noah had three sons. Sem, Ham, and Japheth. Ham is the youngest son. Yeah? Okay, look what it says.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 105, verse 23. Israel also came into Egypt.
That's Israel. There's only one God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And Jacob's name changed to Israel. Israel is a person, not a land. Israel has 12 sons. Yeah? So look what it says again.
Israel also came into Egypt.
So the 12 tribes came into Egypt, read.
And Jacob sojourned in the land of Ham.
So he sojourned in the land of Ham. Egypt is part of Ham. This is the land of Ham. God called it land of Ham. So who's Africa? Leo Scipio Africanus, a white man, a white admiral. You cannot be an African. You can never be an African. Which country are you from? Which one?
Biafra.
Biafra. Which part? Which country? Nigeria? So Nigeria, yeah?
Yeah, Nigeria is...
But the white people call it Nigeria, right?
Yes.
Nigger area. The whole part is nigger area, where the Negroes come from. So that's why where they went to get us. And they sold us. So now they took us from the nigger area.
You know, before Nigeria, there is Biafra.
Yes.
You know?
And then today, my name is Aruba. His name is Suriname. His other name is Stacia. Why? But why? Why this happened to us?
I don't know.
You don't know? I'm going to give it to the Bible, yeah? The book of Deuteronomy 28 is the blueprint of the whole Bible, yeah? But what was your question? What was your question?
My question?
Your question.
Yeah, my question is why is it like that? Why our forefathers allowed this thing to happen?
Okay, I'm going to give it to the Bible, yes? Let the Bible answer, because look what the Bible says. Deuteronomy 28 verse 15. What did we do wrong to deserve this?
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass
In the future,
if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
so if you don't listen to the Lord, your God, is it everyone's God? Is it everyone's God? No, look what it says. Read it again.
But it shall come to pass if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
The book of Deuteronomy is written to who? To the Israelites. So it's talking about your God, the God of the Nigerians, the God of the Surinamese, the God of the Antillians, the God of the North, Central, and South Americans,
Bring it up.
and the rest spread out in the four corners of the earth. He's speaking to them, only to them. There's 80 nations on earth. The first nation is Israel, God's apple of the eye. Read.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
One of those curses, go to the verse 33. Verse 32, go to 32. This is what happened to us. Remember, we broke the commandments, because he said, if you break them, I will punish you with these curses. Read 32.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
So our sons and daughters will be taken from us and forced into slavery. Beaten. Let us believe in other religion. Until this day we believe other religion. God never gave religion. So he took us from there and sent us to other countries. God did this to us. Read.
And thine eyes shall look and fill with longing for them all the day long.
Because we have no military might, no economic might, no might at all. Political might, nothing to get our children back. So we can only look at them and long for them. 33. What kind of minerals does Nigeria have? Biafra have? Gas, oil, everything. But how come they're still in the bottom? What the Bible says.
And there shall be no might in thine hand. Verse 33, the fruit of thy land.
The fruit of thy land, the gas, the oil, all the minerals that you have, the gold, you have gold, right? You have, what else you have? Sugar? You have bauxite? Everything that you have. You don't even need Europe. Diamonds also, right?
Bring it up. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors.
Everything what you work for, even though you work for it, you sell it to them, you give it to them, they buy it cheap from you and sell it expensive to yourself. Read.
Shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up.
They will eat it up. Europe will eat it up. Read.
And thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always.
Until this day would we be crushed. Why? Because we will be destroyed. Spiritually, mentally, all these kind of way, yeah? Until this day we continue to break his laws. You go to church? Yes? On which day? On Sunday. That's the first, second, third. Which day of the week is that? Which day of the week is that? Sunday.
That's the second day, the last day.
The last day of the week? Okay. But if you read Matthew 28 verse 1.
On Sabbath day.
On what day?
In the read Bible, they say Sabbath day.
Sabbath day is the seventh day, right? So who gave us Sunday? Who gave us? Can you see this? Look at this, look at this. Who's this?
Yeah. Huh?
This who? Who's this?
Well, according to this, they say it's Jesus.
Okay, Jesus. Okay. It's these people that are Jesus, right? These same people, they come with their God and they beat you and let you believe their God. Do they love you then? They don't love you. See, all these things are man-made religions. Religions made by man. The Bible says if you serve a man, you go behind a man, you believe that man, you're also cursed. Go to Jeremiah 75. Just to prove that. What is it? Because like today, we were walking with a cross. See this brother walking with a cross?
Okay, yeah.
And then they call it themselves Christian. But that's not true. Because see this? Baptist, Mormon, Adventist, Jehovah's Witness, Pentecostal. Which were you? Which are you? Which are you? Which denomination? This one?
No. Yeah.
Baptist?
Yes.
Baptist. 7 day, okay.
Yes.
When did we get it? In slavery. See the year? Slavery.
Jehovah's Witness, no? I'm Baptist.
Baptist, right?
The first one.
The first one, Baptist.
Yeah, Johnson.
1608. From John Smith. These guys were people in slavery. We were not allowed to read or write. So what they gave us? They gave us a slave Bible. We were never allowed to read. Why? Because they were afraid that we will wake up. So that's why these denominations, these devils, they gave us this. Remember, if something's wrong, it can never be good. They will never teach you the right way. They will never tell you who you are. They will call you nigger, but will never tell you who you are. So that you will always stay asleep. Okay, look what it says.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 5. Thus said the Lord.
Thus said who?
Thus said the Lord. Cursed be the man that trusted in man.
So see what happened to us? We trusted in these men. We trusted in these people. We thought they were telling the truth. But no, they lied to us and we believe this lie. So every Sunday, we believe in the same lie. Every Sunday we go and serve other gods. The same God, same gods, the cursed. It's a curse it is, like the Bible says in Deuteronomy 28, verse 64. We'll read after it. Continue, finish it.
Thus said the Lord, cursed be the man that trusted in man, and maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departed from the Lord.
So whose heart departed from the Lord? When you do not believe, you don't keep the laws, the statutes and commandments anymore, because the only law that we don't have to keep is the sacrificial law. So that's all the other laws we have to keep. So if we believe in this, but we celebrate Christmas. You celebrate Christmas? New Year on 1st of January, you serving other gods. Look what the Bible says. It's not to break you, not to break you. It's to let you know about what we're doing wrong. Look at Deuteronomy 28, verse 64.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee.
Who?
and the Lord shall scatter thee
The Lord will scatter us. He did this to us. Read.
among all people, from the one end of the earth, even unto the other.
From Nigeria all the way to the Antilles, all the way to Suriname, all the way to Brazil, all the way to North, Central and South America, and also back to the Netherlands. They never tell us that they came back to the Netherlands. They never told us that they came back to Germany or United Kingdom or Portugal. They never say it. Because it went in 3 ways. But the third way also is here. In Amsterdam, in Rotterdam, in Zeeland. They don't tell us this. In Belgium. They don't tell us these things. Read.
And there thou,
When you come off the slave ship, what will happen?
thou shalt serve other gods,
You shall serve other gods. Which God?
which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
Our forefathers never knew these gods. These are new gods.
Even wood and stone.
The wood is Christianity that does not exist according to the Bible. That's all this. We are not allowed to do that. From one place to the next. By which means of transport? How do we get from Nigeria to the Americas?
Through sheep.
Through ship. You think it's written in the Bible?
I don't know.
Bring it up!
Deuteronomy 28 to 68. Look what it says. Remember, the Bible is written in a parable. All names or difficult things what it has, it will give you the meaning of that name. Or meaning of any word that you're looking for. Look what the Bible says. Deuteronomy 28 to 64.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord
Who did it again? The Lord did it.
shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So the first time the Israelites came out of Egypt walking. But this time he said, he's threatening us, say, hey, break my commandments. You're going into Egypt again, but this time it's ships. What's the meaning of Egypt? Because the meaning of Egypt, the real name of Egypt is Mizraim. What's the meaning of Egypt?
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
So Egypt means house of bondage, yeah? Slavery. So now that we know that, God said, I am the Lord thy God, your God, no one else. Go back to Deuteronomy 38 to 64. Now you know the meaning of Egypt. Deuteronomy 38 68.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt
Slavery.
again with ships.
So who went into slavery on slave ships? The so-called native Indians that you can see on this board. The Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Dominicans, the so-called Guatemalans all the way to Panama. All the Native Americans went first. Afterwards, the so-called Negroes, Judah, Benjamin, Levi. These are the Jews. The first 3 are the Jews. 4 to 12 is Israel. They don't tell us this. They went into slavery on slave ships against their will. Yeah? Read on.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee,
Exactly as Moses explained, was telling us, it also happened.
thou shalt see it no more again.
Because Egypt, we would never see again. We would never see this place again. Read.
And there
When you get off the slave ships, what will happen?
ye shall be sold.
Shall be what?
Ye shall be sold.
We were sold. Even the natives were sold. When Columbus came to murder, to kill, and to destroy, to steal, he stole all our gold and also transported us from Aruba to Puerto Rico, Mexico to Cuba. That's how he, also from, I think from Venezuela all the way to Philippines. That's what he did. Remember, these people were busy with all these things and went in Africa and searched everything out. They had a lot of time. What you say? They had so much time to do all these things, to see who the Israelites are.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
Not enemy, enemies. Because the Africans is also your enemy. The African came and he took you, sold you to the enemies, the other enemies. Because we think, hey, no, we're Africans, but I'm going to show you just now, who are the Africans? Read.
For bondmen and bondwomen,
For slave men and slave women,
and no man shall buy you.
no one can free us. So that's why we have Ketikoti last week, 1st July. Ketikoti is for all the black people here. No, there is no Ketikoti. We're still in slavery. And we're not free. So, Kwaku, he could not free us. Tula couldn't free us. No one in the government could free us. Not today. Until this day, no one free us. Because we're still in slavery. As the Bible says, God did it to us. So when he do it to you, it is until when you listen. Keep the laws and commandments that pertains to you. I want to give you the difference between the who's Ham? Who are the Africans according to the Europeans? What they don't teach us, but they pass it to themselves via email and write it in books. And do we read? Do we like to read? No, we don't like to read because they say we want to hide something for a nigger, put it in the book because they don't read. Look what the Bible says. Look what this Bible dictionary says.
The youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races.
He became the forefather of the dark races.
Not the Negroes.
So I thought they said Ham. Ham is the father of this Ham, Africa. The forefather of the dark races, but not of the Negroes. So how did the Negroes get into Africa? So Biafra is a Negro. How did a Negro come into Biafra? Because Biafra is not his land. Nigeria is not his land. Gambia is not his land. Ghana is not his land. Cameroon is not his land. Not one of them is his land. So how did the Negro get there? How did Shaka Zulu get to the south? He's also a Negro. Go to the book of, let me finish it to see who are the real Africans.
But the Egyptians,
the real Egyptians, very tall and skinny, no hair, read.
Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites.
They are the real Africans. They are not Negroes. They know their bloodline. They know also they're not Negroes. So how did the Negro get into in Africa? Go to the New Testament, Luke 21 verse 21. 21 verse 20. This is how the Negro got into the land of Ham, so-called Africa today.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh.
So when you see that the Romans surround Jerusalem, don't go into the city. Stay out of the city. Don't go into the city, says.
Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter therein too.
Don't let them go into the city. Yeah? Because why?
For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled.
So they surrounded the city and they let us eat our children. Understand? That's what the Romans did. Yeah? But yeah, we ate our children. Understand? We did it. Understand? But yeah, we have to listen because Christ told us from the beginning. Verse 24.
Verse 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword.
We will go into slavery. We shall fall by the edge of the sword. Understand? It's a something what would happen. It's a prophecy happening in the future. Understand? So my question to you is, who is living in the land today, in Jerusalem? Who is living in that country today? The so-called Jews and the Palestinians and some more Europeans, right? Okay, look what the Bible says about them.
And they shall fall by the edge of the sword.
We shall go into slavery
and shall be led away captives into all nations.
We shall go into all nations in the four corners of the earth. Read.
And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles.
Today, Jerusalem will be trodden down. Jerusalem, you will see people walking down around there.
Of the Gentiles.
Gentiles were living there. Gentiles are there today. They are not Israelites.
Until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
Until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So when Christ comes back, that's when the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So when he comes back and he don't find us in that land, we are in our enemy's land, what's going to happen? Exodus 21:16. Look what the Bible says. Everything's within this Bible. But because we do not read, or we don't have the understanding, we will not understand what we're reading. Look what the Bible says.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 21, verse 16. And he that stealeth a man.
This is a law. This is a law. This is a law. So we got laws, statutes, and commandments that pertains to us. If we break the laws, we get punished. 18 nations on earth. The first nation, the apple of the eye, if they sin, they get punished. If the 17 other nations sin, they don't know what sin. They never got laws, they never got statutes and commandments. So that's why they broke this law, but they didn't pay for it. Read.
And he that stealeth a man.
So if you steal a man, you go to Africa and take the Negro or the native Indian, read.
And selleth him.
And you will what?
And selleth him. Or if he be found in his hands.
Or when Christ come back and he finds you in their hand, so he comes and he sees us in the Dutchman hand, the German hand, the Frenchman hand, the Englishman hand, or in the Portuguese hand, the Sweden, Norwegian, all the other countries that have us in their land, read,
he shall surely be put to death.
That's what the Bible says. He shall surely be put to death. Because God's Jews, he have them in their hand. Understand? That's what the Bible says.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models.